Good afternoon. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session here with us at Mathematics Resource Center. All right, so today what we're looking at is solving quadratic equations. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. All right. Um, Solving quadratic equation. Just give me a minute to get that going. All right, let's see if I put my F. Right, good. So we're ready to go. Oh, I need to get my pen. All right, so I'm going to share my whiteboard and we're looking at solving quadratic equation. All right. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and share the video with anyone. If you have any question, you can always comment your question and let us know the question that you have, and we'll try our very best to answer. All right. Go ahead and share, and you can also go to our we just started a group on Facebook, so you'll see us posting videos in the group as well, and you can join the group, post your questions, and as much as possible we will make videos relating to the questions that you do. All right, so say for instance you have any question, any algebraic question, it doesn't matter, as long as it's related to maths, you just post it in our group, and then we'll try to make a video and explain it. We won't get around to doing everything for everyone, but as much as possible we'll be able to point you to a video that is already there, or if we haven't covered that topic or content as yet, we will make a video on that. All right, good. So now we are going to be looking at solving quadratic equation, and we hope to get this done in about 15 minutes so I can get on to my next lesson. All right. So solving quadratic equation. Let's go. I'm gonna share whiteboard. Um okay. So just one sec and I'll get started. Okay, so we're ready to go. All right. Uh, Let me see if I can share the link. Um, I can share the link. Just a sec, so I can share the link so that persons can join. So I am sharing the link. If you want to join the lesson directly, it's free. If you want to hop onto the lesson where you can participate in real time, I am just going to share the link in the chat. All right. So if you want to hop onto the lesson, if you want to join the live lesson on Zoom, if you go over to the chat, there's a link right there, and that should take you to joining the live lesson. All right. Okay. So there we have the link if you want to join the lesson. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to solve some quadratic equation now. So first and foremost, let's look at what quadratic means. How we know we're talking about quadratic. So say we have x So I've written down some expression there. So we know we're looking at solving quadratic equation, but I've written down some expressions. So the topic is solving quadratic, quadratic equation. All right. So in solving quadratic equation, first I want you to know what equations are, what quadratic equations are, or what quadratic means first, and then we'll look at the equation. So x squared plus 3, is that a quadratic? Is that quadratic? X squared minus 5x plus 7, is that quadratic? Just seeing x squared alone, is that quadratic? Uh, x minus 3 plus x squared, is that quadratic? Y minus x squared, is that a quadratic? So these are quadratic expressions. They don't have an equal sign, so we can't say equation as it. So are these quadratic expressions? If yes, tell me why you say yes, and if no, tell me why you say no. All right. So go ahead and type in the chat. Are these quadratic expressions, or are they are they not? So x squared plus 3, is that a quadratic expression? Yes or no? Why you say yes? Why you say no? Hello, Sachin. All right, so I have Sachin joining here with me. Just waiting for Sachin to connect his audio. All right, hello, Sachin. Good evening. You hearing me, Sachin?
Yeah,
All right, good to go. So you know that we're live session on YouTube, right? All right,
yes.
Sachin? All right, good. So it's just me and you for now. If anyone joins, then they can join the lesson. Some persons might join later on YouTube, but it's just me and you now. All right, so we're looking at solving quadratic equation. So we have the first one, x squared plus 3, right? And when we look at x squared plus 3 and x squared minus 5x plus 7, x squared, so that's number 3. Number 4, x minus 3 plus x squared, and y minus x squared. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expressions there. Are they quadratic expressions?
Yes, miss.
Why do you say yes?
Because x squared.
Because the x square. Good. So for us to know that it's quadratic, right? Yes, so as Sachin said, the square. So the highest degree must be 2. If it's higher than 2, then we know that it is a polynomial, but not quadratic. All right. So quadratic, the highest power is 2. Oops. The highest power is 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. So that makes it a quadratic expression. All right. So now that we know that which is quadratic expression, let's go to the equation now. So x squared minus 7. Before we go to the equation, let's look at what is not. All right. So the question is now, which of the following is a quadratic expression? So let me write a question up above. So question, which of the following is a quadratic? I don't have space to put that. Next time I write the instruction first. Quadratic expression. So which of those is a quadratic expression? Sashin?
4, 5, 2, and 1.
So Sashin says number 4 is a quadratic expression. Number 2 is a quadratic expression. Number 1 is a quadratic expression. That's it, Sachin?
Number 5, miss.
And number 5. All right. So let's see if what Sachin says is so. So remember now, Sachin, let's go back to um our previous slide. We say that quadratic expression, the highest degree, highest power is 2, right? So when I look at a quadratic expression, I'm looking for that expression that the highest power in it is 2, and that what's define it as quadratic. So it must have one of those terms raised to the 2, and it can't be higher than 2, right? So the highest term must have 2. The power is 2. Let's go to these now. You want to rethink your answer?
1, 2, 8, and 6.
So 1. So let me take out those now using green. Oops. Let me see if I can go back. Oh, yeah, I can. All right. So 1, well done. 2, great. Which other one? 6. And any other?
No, miss.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, you know, miss, no, miss.
All right. Tell me why 3 is not a quadratic.
Mm. Maybe because although, maybe because it's the fact that it's not like x squared.
What is missing from it?
Squared.
A square term. Beautiful. So that's not a quadratic. Why is 4 not a quadratic?
Because 3 is higher than 4. A cube is higher than squared.
Good. Not quadratic. Why is 5 not a quadratic?
Because number 2 is not the highest number there.
Good. Beautiful. Well done. Let's move to the next page. All right. So now that we know quadratic expression, let's look at quadratic equation. So if I go back to first page and I take x squared plus 3, and I just add equals 0, right there and then I have an equation. What makes it an equation now? Tell me what makes it an equation now, Sachin?
Equal sign.
The equal sign. Beautiful. Well done. So now we know how to identify equations. So since we know how to identify equation, let's go to the next page where you're going to tell me, I'm going to write, so let me write the instruction first. So the instruction, and Sachin, I need to see those, the work in your book. So I'm moving fast, so if you don't get to capture everything, you do it after, take a picture and WhatsApp me. Okay, Sachin? So you can go back to the video on YouTube, watch it again, take a picture and send me your work after, okay?
Yes, miss.
All right, honey. All right, so the instruction here now is to identify quadratic expressions or equation by writing the correct word, correct term beside each. All right, so the first one, I'm going to give you about 6 of them. I have one more person joining. Who is that? Good evening. Is it? Tell me your name, honey. Tell me your name, darling. Oh, he left. All right. Go on. All right. So, um, let's go back. All right. So we have all right, session. Identify the quadratic expression or quadratic equation. So we're looking for quadratic. So you're gonna put beside each, which is the quadratic equation. If it's quadratic equation, you put quadratic equation. If it's quadratic expression, you put quadratic expression. So we're looking at those six, and you identify the quadratic equation or quadratic expression. Ready to give me an answer, session?
Miss 1, 2, 3,
Number
4,
one, number two,
3,
number
and
three,
4.
and four. There what?
Quadrat quad- quadratic equation.
So you say blue, quadratic equation. Are you sure about number one? Look at number one. It's quadratic, but is it an equation?
No, miss.
All right, so it is a quadratic what?
I forget the last year. Actually. The
So it's up
next
here, the
um
quadratic expression,
quadratic expression.
and the next bit is quadratic equation. All right, so x squared minus 5x plus 6. Why is it not a quadratic expression? Equation, I
Because
mean.
there, because there's no equal sign. Same with
All
number
right.
3.
So we're gonna use blue for quadratic expression and green for quadratic equation. So expression number two, is it equation or expression? Is it quadratic equation or quadratic expression?
Equation.
Equation. Number three,
Expression.
number four,
Equation.
number five,
Expression.
number six.
Expression.
Is it a quadratic expression?
Number 6. Yes, miss.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Oh wait, no. No, miss, it's not.
All right, so neither. So we're gonna put that in yellow and neither quadratic expression. Why is it not a quadratic expression or equation?
It's not an equation because it doesn't have an equal sign, and it's not it doesn't have an equal sign, and it's a number, and 2 is not the highest, right?
Beautiful. Good. So let's go to the next page. All right, so let's go to the next page. And now we're going to go to solving quadratic equations. All right, so before I teach you to solve the equations, I'm going to teach you how to factorize it. So we're using factorization. So that's the method that we're using today, factorization method. All right. So we're using factorization. So the first one I'm going to go is x squared minus, so let's use plus first. So x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So let's solve this equation. What's the first thing you're going to do when you're solving equation quadratically? Or no, when you're solving a quadratic equation using factorization method, yes, that's how it's supposed to be said. What's the first thing you're going to do when you're solving a quadratic equation using factorization? Remember anything, Session? No?
Group them.
Group? All right. So we're going to go through together. The first thing that I want you to do is to identify your A, B, and C. So write that down first. Identify your A, your B, your C. Do you know what the A is? Do you know what B is, what C is?
A is x squared.
A is?
X squared.
A is x squared. Tell me what B is.
4 squared.
Tell me what C is.
3.
All right. So A, B, and C. When I talk about A, B, and C, I'm talking only numbers now. So you gave me the term that has A, which is x squared. So that's a term, but A itself is the number, which is the coefficient of x. What does coefficient mean, Sachin? Does coefficient mean, honey? Don't remember? All right. The coefficient is a number that is in front of the term. Can you tell me the coefficient of x now?
2.
In front of it. Not the power, the number that
Oh,
is
yeah.
in front of the term.
Just
Mm,
remember 1 because there
1.
is no number, so it become 1.
Good. So you don't see a number here, right? So it's 1. So A is the coefficient of x squared. So if you want to go ahead and drop that down, A is the coefficient of x squared. And what does coefficient mean, Sachin?
Number in front of the x. Number in front of the variable.
Good. Number in front of the variable. All right. So A is the coefficient of x squared. A is the coefficient of x squared. And the value of A in this case is? What did we get for A in this case?
4x.
A, no,
Or,
A, not B yet. A.
oh, yeah. 1x squared. Right. What do you put there?
So the
1.
term that has A in it is 1x squared. But what is the value of A? A is a number. It doesn't have any variable.
1. 1, miss.
Beautiful. Let's go to B now. What's the value of B?
4,
Good. All right. So B is always the coefficient of X, or the variable, the variable to the first power. And what's the value of C?
3,
Good. So we have that bit. So x squared plus 4x plus 3 equal 0. All right. The next thing that we're going to do now is that now that we have A or B or C, we're doing factorization method, is that we're going to write down AC. Let me see if I go back to red pen. So AC equal. What AC means is A times C. What AC means, Sachin?
AXC.
A times C. So what's the value of A?
1,
What's the value of C?
3,
So what is the value of AC?
3.
All right. So now we have two things we're going to focus on. AC, which equals 3, and the value of B, which is the value of B, which is
Let's repeat.
the value of
HC,
B,
B, 4.
4. All right, good. So now that we know the value of AC is 3, the value of B is 4, the next thing that you're going to do for me now is to find factors. What we're going to do is we are rewriting this to have 4 terms so we can factorize by grouping. So we're going to rewrite it so it has 4 terms. So you remember when you're factorizing by grouping, you have 4 terms. Presently, it has 3 terms. So we're going to have 4 terms. The first term is going to remain. The last term is going to remain. In other words, the first term, the term x squared, is going to remain as it is, and the constant is going to remain as it is. Good? We're going to replace now this 4 positive 4x with 2 other terms. So 1 and 2. So instead of having 4x, we're going to end up with 2 terms. All right? So instead of having 4x, we're going to end up with 2 terms, right? So what we're doing is factorizing by grouping. We're rewriting it so we can factorize by grouping. But when you're factorizing by grouping, we use 4 terms. So 4 terms needed to do so. So because we need 4 terms and we only have 3, we're going to rewrite this quadratic expression. So 2 expression make an equation. So that's one part, that's one expression, that's one expression. The equal sign connect them into an equation. So we're going to rewrite 1x squared plus 4x plus 3 so that it has 4 terms so we can factorize by grouping. Because we know how to factorize by grouping. So we are going to rewrite this bit into something that we already know so we can factorize by grouping. So let's go now. The 1x squared is going to remain the same at the front. The plus 3 is going to remain the same. The constant is going to remain the same. So the x squared term is going to remain, and the constant is going to remain. The term now that is to the first power, 4x. The power there is 1, the first power. Sometimes it might be at the back. It doesn't matter where it is. That's the term you're going to rewrite. And you're going to rewrite that term. You're going to split it into 2 parts. In splitting it into 2 parts, 1, those 2 numbers, there's a criteria to get those 2 numbers, those two terms. The criteria is, let me go to a new page to write that criteria. So AC equals 3 and B, let me go back to check, B equal 4. Good. So the criteria, so AC equal 3 and B equal 4. What we need to do now to find those two factors, so we're looking for two factors to replace, to go here and one to go there. And we call them factors. Why we call them factors is because they must multiply to give us positive 3 and add or subtract to give us 4. So let's go again. Multiply, so we're looking for two factors. When you multiply them, so let me just do it from scratch. We are looking for two factors. Two factors when multiplied gives AC, that's whatever AC is, and when we add or subtract them, we add or subtract them, we get B, whatever B is. All right? So we have 3 and we have 4. Sashin, tell me two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 3, and when you add or subtract them, you get 4. Sashin,
Yes, miss.
tell me two numbers. When you multiply them, so we're looking for two numbers. You're going to be writing down two numbers here. When you multiply them, it must equal to 3. When you add or subtract them, so it can be that you add them, or it can be that you subtract them, it equals to 4.
So 1 times 3 equal 3.
So 1 times 3 equals 3, and these 1 and 3 must work out to give 4. So you can either add them to get 4 or subtract them to get 4. And you can use negative and positive numbers. So 1, does 1 minus 3 give 4?
Oh, so that it have to correspond to
Yes, the two numbers have to correspond, but you can tell me, is it a minus that we're supposed to have there or a plus?
plus.
Good. Plus. So 1 plus 3 give 4. So they must correspond. So it's the same thing. So these two numbers that you select here, the 1 and the 3, they multiply to give 3, and the same 1 and 3 must give you the 4. Good?
Yes, miss.
All right. When we work one more example, you'll understand. All right, so 1x squared plus, so the factors that we get now is 1 and 3. What you're going to do with those factors now is just take them and replace them. They're going to replace the 4x. So this 4x here is going to be replaced. No more 4x there, but now where 4x was, we now have 1x, and we always add x to it, that if it's x, it's y, whatever it is, and 3x. Bear in mind that we haven't changed the value, because if we simplify this session, what is 1x plus 3x?
Maybe what 1x plus 3x,
Mm-hmm.
4x.
Good. So have we changed the value?
Yes,
Have
miss.
we haven't changed the value, because 1x,
No,
because
no, no, miss.
1x plus 3x would still give us the 4x.
Yeah,
So have we
never,
changed the
never
value?
that number will come.
Hmm?
Never look up, I never realized that works better.
All right. So what we have done is to regroup it, so rewrite it so that we can have it to factorize by grouping, but it is the same value. Good? You ever see some people change out? You ever see some man yet? And them go and let them have a lot of money and them a try impress a girl. So them have like a 5,000 and them change out the 5,000, 4,000 in pay $100 and then put 1,000 over it so the car look big. Eh? You ever see that, Sashin?
That sounds
All right, so that's what we're doing now. We're rewriting it so it looks bigger because we want four terms, but in truth and fact, it's the same value. Good? All right, so now that we have it looking like this session, this is the easy part. So we have done all the heavy lifting. We're at the easy part now. So let me put it in the same color so that it looks exactly. And you can put the 1x at the front and the 3x at the back. It doesn't matter which one you put first. All right? Sometimes it makes it easier when factorizing, but it doesn't matter. You're going to end up with the same answer as long as you do the procedure correctly. So now we're going to factorize by grouping. Group the first two. Group the first two. Group the last two. Factorize normal. When I say factorize normal, I'm talking about, you see, 1x squared plus x. Let's factorize that. What do we get? Just factorize this. Forget about what's going on up there. 1x squared plus x. Factorize that for me.
wouldn't it just be 1x?
Anything else?
Is that my factor is the whole thing? I think I 1x
You're factorizing this.
no
Factorize 1x squared plus x.
1x maybe plus 1
Tell me what to write, honey. All right. So you're gonna have to watch some video on that. All right. So when you factorize 1x squared plus x, the first thing that you're gonna do is looking at 1x squared plus x. What's the highest common factor of 1x squared and x? What's the highest thing that can divide into 1x squared and x?
1
All right. So that's for the number. Look at the variable now. Is any variable common? So over here we have x squared. Over here we have x. Do we have the same letter on both sides?
yes miss
So you're gonna write down x as a part of your HCF, and you write the lowest power of x. So here the power of x is 2. What's the power of x over here?
happy miss
So here the power of x is 2 there. What's the power of x here?
1
1. Good. So the power of x there is 1. So what's the lowest power of x out of the 2x that we have up there? What's the lowest power?
1
1. Good. So that's our highest common factor. Then you open your bracket. So let me put this out a bit. So the first thing you do, you write down your HCF. 1, so your HCF is 1x. Then you open your bracket. Now what you're going to do for me is you're going to divide each term by 1x. So 1x into x squared leaves us with, so 1x squared divided by 1x. The 1 cancel the 1, doesn't make a difference. And if I have x squared divided by x, what's left?
2
Look at it. What does x squared means? X squared mean x times x. Let me not use that as a times. Let me use a full stop. So x squared means x times x divided by x. So x cancel x. What's left?
X.
Good. So we have 1x squared plus x. So 1x divided into 1x squared leave us with 1x divided into 1x divided into 1x squared. Our answer
X.
is x. And then now, so after we've done the first term, we're going to go to the second term. X divided by x. So you're going to say this x divided by that x. So what we do is that our HCF, highest common factor, is divided into each. So we take this 1x divided into 1x squared. Take this 1x divided into x. All right, so what is x divided by x?
0 and 10.
Look at it. X into x, 1, x into x, 1. 1 divided by 1 is? All right, look at this 2. 2 divided
1.
by 2 is?
1. Me say 1.
Oh, you said 1. Oh, did you hear? Okay, 1. All right, so x divided by x is 1. Just like 3 divided by 3 is what, Sashin?
3 divided by 3 is just 1. Or just 3
4
times.
divided by 4 is?
4.
4 divided by 4 is?
Where's a miss?
4 divided by 4.
1 time. Kalinga.
Yes, 7 divided by 7.
1.
So x divided by x is?
Just
X divided
X.
by x is?
X. Like this.
Right, Sashin. Let's go, Sashin. 4 divided by 4. 7 divided by 7. 8 divided by 8. 9 divided by 9. X divided by x. And y divided by y. What is 4 divided by 4? Good. 7 divided by 7. Good. 8 divided by 8. 9 divided by 9. X divided by x. Y divided by y. What is x squared divided by x squared? Look at the pattern, Sashin.
1.
Yes, so go ahead, write in your 1. So what is Sashin divided by Sashin? Hmm?
Miss me
Sashin?
that try write it, but you never send the
All right.
myself. Me
So it would
myself
be
and
1. All right. So we just know that bit. All right. So x into x squared. So when we factorize 1x squared plus x, we get 1x open bracket x plus 1. So let's go back to where were we? Where were we? Where were we? We're here. Good. So we factorize 1x squared plus x, and we get 1x, or you could just put x plus 1. Let's go ahead and factorize 3x plus 3. So 3x plus 3. So you look at the numbers first. What's the highest number can divide into 3 and 3? Highest number that can divide into 3 and divide into 3 without leaving remainder. Beautiful. So that's the first thing you do to write down your HCF. You put your 3. Now look if there's any variable common. Any variable common? No. Good. So no variable common, open your bracket. So you're going to take this 3 and divide into each of those. What is 3x? Divide by 3. Good. So 1x. All right. And then what is 3 divided by 3? Good. All right. So now we know that 3x plus 3, when we factorize that, we get 3, open bracket, x plus 1 equals 0. Next step, 2 more steps, is to put what's outside of the bracket in one bracket by themselves. So we have 1x at the front, so 1x go in a bracket, plus 3 there, plus 3 go in a bracket. And then both of these brackets that remain must be exactly the same. If they're not the same, there's some form of error. So you put it in a bracket by itself equals 0. Good. The last bit that we're going to do, and I'm going to clean over here, erase here, so we can do that last bit here. So the last bit that we're going to do is that we have those two brackets and we're going to equate each of them to 0. So the first bracket is 1x plus 3. So it's going to be 1x plus 3 equals 0. The next bracket, x plus 1 equals 0. We're going to do that after. So 1x plus 3 equals 0. Solve that for me, Sashin. What's the answer? X equal? Is it supposed to be positive 3 or negative 3? So 1x plus 3 equals 0. We're solving for x. So we have plus 3 there. We're going to remove the plus 3. So we're going to balance our equation by subtracting 3 from both sides. That's gone. We're left with 1x there equal, what's 0 minus 3, Sashin?
Repeat. Yes.
What is 0 minus 3?
3. 3 negative 3.
Hmm?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. And 1x is the same thing as saying x equal negative 3. So we know that right here, that x equal negative 3. Let me write the 3 better for you, Sashin. And so that's that bit. And then we're going to do the next part, which is x plus 1 equals 0. What's the value of x, Sashin? What type of 1? So when I ask what type of 1, I'm asking if it's negative or positive.
Positive.
So let's go solving that equation. So it is x plus 1 equals 0. So I prefer you to work it out. If you're not sure, work it out. Solving. So we have plus 1, subtract 1 from both sides. Balance our equation, subtracting 1 from both sides. That go. We're left with x. What is 0 minus 1? Good. Well done. So therefore, what's the value of x here? Good. So let me remove this part. So x equal -1. And therefore, we put that together. So we put the bits and pieces together, or two answers together. When you do a quadratic equation, you're expected to get two answers. So therefore, that's this final bit, x equal -3 and x equal -1. All right. Good to go, Sachin?
Yes, miss.
All right. So I'm going to give you a question for yourself. And then, okay, I can't create any more whiteboards. So let me see if I can find myself on one of these whiteboards. Let's go here and erase. So your homework question session is homework solve. So you're going to go back to YouTube, watch the video, and you're going to send me the notes. Let's not use 5x. Let's use, so if I put 12 there, 7x. All right, so that's your homework equals 0. So let me write it properly so you get everything. So it's x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Good? All right, Sachin? Hmm? All right, so that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you, Sachin, for joining and participating. So Sachin is one of our amazing, amazing, amazing students. He sent us that question and we just work it out with him. All right, so go on over to Facebook, Mathematics Resource Center, like and subscribe. No, it's not subscribe. Just like our page and there's two page there, but I'll be posting on the one that's active, so you'll know which one is active soon. And there's a group, Mathematics Resource Center, only one Mathematics Resource Center group, so you can join that group. All right, see you all for our next lesson, and God bless you all. Ciao.